Hey there, MKM subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. It is not lost on me the number of emails you get in a day, and I really am honored and I feel privileged to be able to show up here with you. Today's message, I feel like, is really timely. I've been in a lot of conversations with female entrepreneurs recently, and some of them are either A, in a position where they've taken a little break from social media and they're not quite sure how to come back. B, they're feeling like maybe their business is in a slower season or in a season of transition, and they're not quite sure how to show up through that in their marketing. Or C, they're looking ahead at the holiday season and saying, I want to be a little more present right now in real life and take a bit of a break from social. But in all of those scenarios, these entrepreneurs and business owners aren't sure how to do that and still be able to sustain their business. And today, I want to share with you, if you are in a state of not sure how to show up on social media right now, this is the message you need to hear. So let's start with a little story. A few years back in 2018, my husband and I found ourselves in a scenario that we never thought we'd be in. Our 5-year-old daughter had a severe acute medical situation, which resulted in her being hospitalized for 2 months. And at this point, MKM was just a little baby business. It was only a year and a half old. And I was still in a state of being very much hustling to make every dollar and to get my name out there for more exposure and more business. But as a mom who found herself raising a child in the hospital as well as 3 kids at home, I couldn't do everything, right? So, in that time where we were immediately hospitalized, I didn't show up. I only posted a couple of times. Now, thankfully, I had support here at work where I had a great team member. Shout out to Miranda. She kept the prioritized tasks really flowing. And my fantastic clients were there saying, take your time and you come back when you can. We're okay for a while. So, in that season, not only did MKM take a break from social media, but also my clients had to take a little bit of a break too. So, and obviously, we've recovered from those couple of months. But even when we had kind of navigated through the immediate medical needs of our daughter, and we were coming back home and making plans for what life was going to look like when we got back into our quote unquote normal routine, there were a couple of days where I was here, like getting things organized and getting ready for her return. And in my head, I was telling myself, you can't slow down. You have to pick up the pace. You need every minute. You need every step. You have so much to do. Molly, you can't take a rest. You can't take a break. Even though my head was saying that, my body was like, man, I just need to lay here on this couch and watch the view. There was like one morning in particular that sticks out in my head where I just had on morning television and I had all of these piles of paperwork around me. Some were medical paperwork, some were junk mail piles that I was sorting through, some were MKM client emails that had been printed off and content calendars. And it was everything that had just been dropped on my desk for the past 2 months. And I was trying to make sense of it because I felt that before I could take action, first I needed to sort out and organize what was happening. And what I have come to learn more so in 2022 than back in 2018 is that that was a really critical step that I took for myself in that season of my life. And if you are someone who's a business owner, whether you're navigating like that kind of a situation or you're just trying to keep your head above water amidst the quarter 4 needs of your business, I want to remind you that you are at the crux of your business. Okay. Even if it's not a personal brand, if you are the visionary, if you are the leader, if you are the CEO, and if you're especially a solopreneur, your business can't function without you. It needs you to be clear, to feel your best, to have energy. Okay. And in 2022, you've heard me talk about energy so much. And it's not just this woo woo thing like patty positivity, like, oh, we're going to feel good. We're going to say the happy things. We're only going to talk about the good stuff. No, that's not how energy works. But what Molly of 2018 was doing back in that day where she was watching the morning shows and sorting out and organizing from the couch, what that Molly was doing was helping her go from this feeling of overwhelm, this feeling of powerlessness, to exerting some level of control that could help me feel like I've got my stuff together a little bit better. That was helping me come up the vibrational ladder, if you will. Now, you might be like, Molly, what the heck did you just say? The vibrational ladder is, oh, now I got to find it. Where did it go? Okay. I've almost got it. Here we go. All right. So I learned this from Susie Holman a little bit earlier this year. But if we think about this from a scientific perspective, an object in motion stays in motion, an object at rest stays at rest. We know this, we got this at some level in either our elementary or our secondary level of education. It is one of the laws of physics. Now, not only is it like that, like picture in your head that desk thing where it's like it looks like a monkey bar, but it has these like silver stainless steel balls hanging from wires and they're all like inert. But then you grab the one on the end and you lift it up. And when you let it go, it like goes down and then it transfers the energy from one ball to the second, to the third, to the fourth. And then the last ball, it goes up and comes back down and then it transfers the energy back down the line. So that energy, we can see how that energy is transferred. But we as people also emit energy and our interactions, in our communications, and even through screens like this. If I were to come here feeling really down and being very pessimistic and being like very fearful or feeling like I'm shamed about something, like I can even feel how that changes in my body. And that would be relayed to you. You could see that. You could almost read between the lines of a social media post. And I'm sure you've done it before, where you can read between the lines and see, oh, something's not being said here. Similarly, like think about if you need to put this into a physical perspective, you've probably walked into a room before, opened the door, a couple of people are talking, and you're like, everything good here? I feel like I just interrupted something. And you could feel like tension in the air, right? That's because people emit energy and you can feel that. Now, I bet you've probably walked into a room, same room, maybe, same people, but when you walk in, you're like, something just happened here. What did I miss? And you could just tell from their body language, from just the way they're carrying themselves, from their energy, that there was something exciting going on just a moment ago, and you've kind of interrupted it. So we can picture those moments. I also like to picture wedding receptions because like you can feel all the love of the people in one space and the excitement and the like just optimism in that room. And you can feel that. It's palpable a lot of times. And that's because as people, not only does the way we hold our bodies, the tone of our voice, the words we actually say, the actions we actually take, but our energy also communicates without saying a word. So this vibrational ladder that I'm going to show you shows how these energies are present. So one of the lowest vibrational energies is this idea of shame. And you know that if there's something like gnawing away at you, something that you can't stop thinking about, and you're really like disappointed about it, or you feel regretful, like that doesn't leave you. And it changes how your body shows up. You feel that weight, you feel that heaviness. Similarly, if we are feeling fearful or scared of something, or we're grieving, like we have, it's not just Eeyore on Winnie the Pooh. Maybe that's dating me a little bit, but like, remember how he used to have a rain cloud following him around? Like, think about the rain cloud that's following you and you're feeling like this. And obviously, some of these situations come into our lives in ways that we cannot control, that we cannot change. And so, if we're feeling grief because we've lost someone or something close to us, we're going to feel that. But we're also really carrying that energy with us. Now, in our businesses, if we are feeling insecure about, let's say, an offer that we want to show up and share about on social media, but we're like, okay, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to put out that email. I'm going to share that reel. But inside, we're really insecure and saying, I don't think anybody's going to buy this. I don't know if anybody's going to like this. Who's going to see this? Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. That insecurity is going to come through in the way that we write, in the way that we show up on that video. And it's really going to be able to be read through the lines or through the screen, as it were. Now, what I recommend, and especially like for those of you who haven't posted in a while, or if you're going through a state of transition and unsure feeling in your business, and you're like, I don't know how to show up right now because I just am not sure I feel like it, that's okay. Because even if you force yourself to show up, you're probably going to be coming to social media on behalf of your business in a place of down here. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you're feeling discouraged. Maybe you're feeling jealous of other people who have it better. But if you force yourself through, think about the Molly sitting on the couch where she should have been doing all of these things, but instead she was organizing. If I would have forced myself to show up and post something that day, I would have been like exuding my feelings of like powerlessness, my feelings of grief all over everyone who reads that post. And that wasn't how I wanted to come through in that moment. So if you're a business owner, know that if you're feeling that, you don't have to show up. It's totally okay to not create or not post content, especially if you are in a place that is lower on this energy ladder. There are other ways you can still be present, like dropping comments on other posts of other brands and people who you interact with, your VIP customers, your very important clients, things like that. You can be sending DMs to potential clients. You could be using Facebook ads to help your information get out there without you needing to be actively creating new content all the time. So there's still ways to use social media marketing, even in these seasons where you're feeling very low vibe and you don't want to create new content. Now, the other thing you can do if you're feeling this low vibe is say, what are some things I know that I get really happy and excited about? Maybe it's going shopping. Maybe it's enjoying a great cup of coffee. Maybe it is going on a little drive. Maybe it's putting on your favorite comfy cozies and lounging on the couch for a while. Maybe it's having conversation with a friend. All of these are active steps that you can take to help you come up this energy ladder just a little bit. So let's say you're in a place of overwhelm and you're like, I have all of these things to do. My calendar is full. I haven't posted in 2 weeks. I want to create content, but I just don't even know where to start. The best thing you can do for yourself in that moment is something that's going to fill your own cup. And sometimes that looks like not acknowledging the to-do list for a little bit. It might look like going for a 15-minute walk outside or doing a guided meditation or yoga or dancing to a song that's from your favorite 90s junior high dance party playlist. But one of those things, whatever lifts you up, if you are fully present in one of those activities for even as small as like 10 or 15 minutes, it will help you come up this ladder just even a tiny little bit. So maybe then from out of overwhelm, you can move up to just this feeling of like slight annoyance or neutrality, which would be way better a space and an energy to create from than this feeling of overwhelm. And if you can't get out of these lower vibe energies because there are just times when we can't, then it's totally okay to not create. Take a break, unplug, let your community building or run some ads if you feel like you must be present on social, but you just can't create new content right now. It's okay. I would rather see you take the time for yourself and then go create content in a space of higher vibration, even if your higher vibration looks like it's only making it to the middle of the ladder. That's okay. But if you're somewhere down here and you need some time, take it. Okay. And there are examples of business owners doing this all over the place. In fact, in this email, if you scroll down, my friend Lindsay from Chilled Freezer Meals, she just had a family health issue. And so she shared today that she is taking some time off of social media in the month of December. And I commend her for that. And I commend you if you had to take a break just to sort some things out. That's okay. And know that when you are ready to come back, make sure that you've done your little dance, you've moved your body, or you've had that cup of coffee with a friend to make you feel good and optimistic and content. come from a place of high vibration when you can. So, what's my recommendation for those times when, and we're all going to have them as business owners, we know we have things that we want to say, but we just don't feel like creating social media content? You don't have to. Take some time or utilize the community building strategies or the leveraging strategies like ads, collaborations, or user generated content so that you don't have to physically create a ton of new content when you're just not feeling high vibe. So I know this goes into a little bit of the woo woo energetic stuff, but you guys know I love that. And I hope that it's helpful for you because as we enter the holiday season, I know your to do list is going to get longer. I know you're going to feel that pressure start to build. And I want social media to be a place for your business where you feel like you can have fun and be creative without feeling additional stress. And maybe that's a lot to ask, but I believe it is possible. If you need support in this process, today or this week's episode of the podcast with Mariah Danielson is exceptional. She talks about not just her business, Wander Design Co., but she also talks about how she helps business owners discover their purpose and their passion through why discovery sessions. And especially in periods of business when you feel like, what is this all for and what am I doing? Knowing what your why is can really ground you again and give you that kickstart to take active steps. So check out that episode of the Found podcast if you haven't yet. The other thing that I really do invite you to do if you're contemplating how to bring in some more of this energy and honoring your energy in addition to social media strategies is I invite you to participate in our Evolve self-paced option. Evolve Instagram 2.0 was my 8-module program that walked through what's working right now in this field, this time period of Instagram 2.0. And what I found is that not only do we need to know how to operate Instagram, but we also need to know how to bring our unique energy so that we can connect with the people that we can help the most. And through every module of Evolve, you get a little bit of this energy stuff like we talked about here, as well as action steps to help you really cultivate an Instagram like aesthetically pleasing vibe, but more importantly, a community that really comes to you as their guide. So Evolve is now available. It's over at mollyknuthmedia.com/shop, and it is self-paced. So at the time of purchase, you'll unlock all of the trainings, all of the workbook pages, and all of the supplementary materials. And if you have questions at any time, you can always reach out to me at molly@mollyknuthmedia.com.